Alcohol. Let's talk about a few of the times I've drank myself silly with this much wine. We're going to talk about my alcoholism in a minute, but first I just want to let people know that I'm going to try to make 2 videos a week. I don't know that I'll stick to the same 2 days a week, but I am going to let people know right before I upload on my Facebook page. So if you'd please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are in the description. And I'll keep you posted. Some of you may or may not know that I did not start drinking until the beginning of this year, and you may be wondering why alcohol is such an amazing and fun thing. Well, that's not the way that I have viewed it. For a lot of years, I have been deeply afraid of getting sick, and when my mom and dad started drinking, my mom actually got really sick the first few times that she did, and that just put me off. I also have a very obsessive, kind of addictive personality. Like, for example, when I was younger, I pulled out all of my eyelashes until I didn't have any. Another time, I had this necklace that held some chapstick that I would carry around and put on repeatedly because I would continually open my mouth as wide as I could every 3 seconds, and I had, like, really cracked lips, and so I needed chapstick all the time, and then even when I didn't, I kind of became obsessed with carrying it around. When I wasn't wearing the necklace, I would sleep holding the chapstick, and as I said a couple videos back, I used to cut myself, so I just figured I should probably not drink alcohol, because if I start to like it, then I'll just get crazy drunk all the time. I'd like to say that I grew as a person, that I overcame my fears and decided what the heck, but really, I've had a ton of awful stuff happen to me, and I figured this can't be worse than any of those things, so why not? I was no longer afraid of getting sick, but I actually did feel like I had enough strength not to get addicted and to stop if I needed to. Plus, the idea of just relaxing for a few hours and shutting my mind down was so appealing. It was more appealing than the fear of those 2 things. So I discussed it a lot with my mom, and we decided that we could have kind of a girls' evening and do it together. She would make up a mixture of wine for me, and we would watch a movie together and just kind of chill. She'd walk me through the steps of it and ask me how I was feeling and not let me drink too much. Given that it was going to be a really safe environment, that's another reason that I decided to do it. I don't really think there's anything wrong with alcohol, and I don't judge other people who do drink it and how they drink it. It's just for me and those reasons that I never started until this year. So my mom had this 9% proof, like, white wine, and she added sugar to it, and then a bunch of cherry juice and several cherries, which is still how I drink it now. I haven't varied at all from that because I don't know that I would like anything else, and I'm still a little bit nervous to try anything else. But I've got it down to just the right amount of sugar, just the right amount of cherry juice, and just the right amount of cherries. Anyway, the glass that I ended up with was a regular-sized glass, but I only ended up drinking about this much of it. There was no pressure at all, which I really appreciated, because the first couple of drinks that I took, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know how you do this, I absolutely hate this. The cherry taste was, like, overwhelming to me, and I was pretty sure I wasn't going to do it again. But as we talked, and I kind of had some Cheez-Its with it and realized that cheddar-y kind of things made it taste better, I got more and more relaxed, and then we put on a movie. Not just any movie, the kind of movie that you have to drink to enjoy. Gay softcore porn. Of course, that's not the actual category that it falls under, but that is what I would call it. Gay softcore porn. It's a movie called Bite Me.
Do you know how I'd like to spend my last moment on Earth? Curled up in bed with you, my arms around your chest, my lips on your skin, as I say my last goodbye. What would you say to that?
We're vampires! We're atheists.
Some gayness. There were some vampires and some guys kissing and some guys doing some other things and some fighting going on. The production value was not high, but it didn't matter because after an hour I was feeling pretty good. And I have to say, I couldn't have watched that movie sober. I would liken my first experience with alcohol to my experience with Vicodin, which I love. Vicodin, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things, and that's why I prevent myself from having it unless I really need it and get off of it super early. Don't usually take the recommended dosage. You're probably wondering how this little thing ended up with some Vicodin. Well, I will tell you. I had a couple of wisdom teeth removed a little ways back, and I told the doctor, I said, I can't have ibuprofen because that hurts my stomach, but I need something a little bit stronger, something like tramadol. Well, they didn't want to give me tramadol. So I was sitting there with the mask on, you know, because the pain was unreal. I have never experienced anything like this pain, not even when I had a couple of ovarian cysts burst. It was nothing like having your wisdom teeth hurt. Scheduled an emergency visit, And I told this doctor I was very specific that I did not want anything super strong, but it had to be something besides ibuprofen. And since it wasn't tramadol, you know, I was like, just give me something. And she's like, I got just the thing. I forget what she said it was, but it was a generic, a Vicodin, which if I had known, I never would have taken it. And she actually recommended after surgery that I take 2. So when I got home, I took 2 Vicodin like she suggested. And when I went to get out of bed to get some ice cream, I fell down on the floor. I called Fernando and I said, hey, I'm on the floor and I can't get up. Took it for about a week, and then I had some pretty crappy withdrawal when I stopped taking it. And then again, I had to have another tooth removed, like surgically removed, and they gave me more Vicodin, which at that point I was like, heck yes, give me all the Vicodin, please. But of course I didn't take all of it because the withdrawal was pretty bad and I didn't want to get addicted to it. It doesn't mean that I don't love it. I love it. I don't care about anything when I've had a Vicodin, and this is probably not something that I should be admitting to, but man, that stuff is good. And after a couple of drinks of this wine, I was feeling pretty good. I won't say that I was feeling as deep under, but I was still feeling pretty good. I cared a lot less. My mind just went blank, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought, hey, this is actually a healthy way that I can kind of not care. What it felt like to me at first was I got kind of dizzy, and then I got a little bit warm. I felt like you do if you've walked for a while on a hot day and your skin is kind of damp and your pores are kind of like opening up. And then when I actually stood up, things were kind of moving around a little bit, and that's actually when I stopped. She's like, if things start to spin around when you stand up, that's when you need to quit. So I also started getting thirsty, like really craving water. It was the weirdest thing, but I swear it felt like someone had dipped my feet in a wax foot bath, and I could feel like them coated in wax as I walked up the stairs to get something and then back down the stairs. So it was pretty funny, and every time since then that I've gotten, well, I won't say drunk, I don't know if it's drunk or not. I've only drank this much, and I've only done it 5 times since that time, but I always just feel kind of off my rocker when I do it. There was a time that I had to sit in the floor on the carpet on this soft rug, and I was like feeling of it, and I was like, you gotta turn the TV off because I can't see moving things. I can't focus on anything, and my mind was just like, I mean, there was not a thought. It must be wonderful being a man and actually, because when you ask a man what he's thinking and he says nothing, he is serious. And I tell you, if you'd asked me this time what I was thinking, I'd have said nothing, and I would be telling you the absolute truth. Anyway, there's still a few little weird things that I like to do. I like to make sure that I've eaten that day before I drink. I don't like to drink too late because I'm afraid if I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm still kind of like hazy, that it'll freak me out and bring me into a panic attack. I absolutely do not drink when I'm depressed because that is not the kind of experience that I want to have with alcohol. When I do drink, I want it to be to relax and to enjoy myself. A couple weeks back, I drank a little bit and I watched a scary movie by myself in the living room with the lights down low. That was just, it was so chill. I had my dog there, but she was jumping up on me and I just couldn't deal with it. She was being too fast and kissing my face, and I was like, oh, I totally can't handle this. I don't think you're supposed to get tipsy off of this much, and I'm not sure if it has to do with my size or what, or maybe some of it is mental and I'm just thinking that's how you're supposed to be. But I really do feel dizzy and blank and sweaty. It's not a bad feeling, but I definitely wouldn't want to do it in public. I don't know yet how people do that in public. I guess I'm just not used to it. The time that I've been over at someone else's house and drank, and he's been like, oh, come on, you're just being a baby, drink more. It's like I can definitely see the difference between men and women in a drinking scenario, and I'm very glad that I decided to have my first experience with alcohol with my mom. There was one other time actually before this happened that I accidentally got some alcohol. It was on a plane and I had apple juice, and when I asked the flight attendant for a refill, she thought that it was champagne, and she filled my glass up with champagne, and I took a drink, and I've watched too many things on the ID channel. I really thought that someone on the plane was poisoning me and trying to kill me when I took a drink. And then I ran up to the flight attendants and I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna be sick from this one little thing of alcohol that I drank? Because I tried to spit it out, but I couldn't spit all of it out. It was just, not the best experience. I'm sure that is wildly tame compared to pretty much everyone else that I know, but please feel free to share your first time drinking experience with me in the comment section, or any other thoughts that you might have about what a noob I am when it comes to drinking, because I will admit that I'm very naive. I just want something that tastes good and something that I don't have to drink a lot of to get that feeling. Somebody recommended, I think they were water coolers or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But you have to drink like a whole can or a couple of cans, and I don't drink a whole can of soda. So I don't know, I want to like experiment and, like I said, try different stuff. I just have no idea where to start. There is literally so much alcohol in the world, and I don't want any of it to make me sick, and I actually want it to taste good because the alcohol taste it's not my favorite thing. Personally, I think the cherry juice masks it just perfectly. Although I am open to trying other juices that might make it taste better. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Thank you for listening, and until next time, bye.